This summer, I planned a big redemption trip for myself in the Eastern Sierra along the Pacific Crest Trail, the same section I had to bail on last year because of extreme heat and not feeling great. I'm starting my hike. After spending months planning, training, and saving for this trip, well, it didn't go as planned. At first, I wasn't even sure if I was going to share this story publicly. But I realized that talking about it could help me process the trauma of living through this experience, prevent it from holding me back on future trips, and maybe even help some of you out there. So I decided to make this video and share my story with you. One of the lessons this trip taught me is that the mountains don't care about your plans. Sometimes the real adventure isn't about the miles you cover. It's about how you handle things when everything goes wrong. I had everything ready. Gear, food, permit, route. I was so excited to finally come back and complete the section of trail to prove to myself that last year's disappointment wasn't the end of my story out here. I was ready to hike, enjoy the views, swim in the lakes, and document my trip for my YouTube channel. The only thing I didn't plan for was the unexpected. As soon as I stepped out on trail, the trip felt different. The pace was slower than I expected, thick wildfire smoke from the nearby Garnet Fire hung in the air, and overall, the trail felt heavier than usual. I found myself constantly having to readjust my pace, my plans, my expectations, and even my patience. In the backcountry, readjusting can mean a lot. Cutting your mileage from going 10 miles a day down to 4, or even turning around completely when your new goal becomes simply getting back to the trailhead safely. On the morning of day 3, I faced one of the hardest decisions I've ever made on trail. Instead of continuing with my original plan, I decided to turn around and head back towards the trailhead. My body felt fine, but I had to trust my gut and prioritize safety over ambition. It was an incredibly tough choice to make. I had planned, trained, and waited all year for this trip. But sometimes being a confident hiker and backpacker means knowing when to stop, even when your heart wants to keep going. This decision, as hard it was to make, turned out to be the right one. Later that day, the situation escalated into what became a full-on rescue. Suddenly, I went from being just a backpacker to acting as a caretaker and crisis manager, coordinating with local rangers and emergency services to make sure everyone got out safely. The rest of the trip was incredibly stressful, scary, and exhausting, both physically and emotionally. Those last couple of days on trail reminded me why preparation, leadership, and staying calm in high-pressure situations are so crucial, especially when you're out in the backcountry. Once I finally reached my car at the trailhead and got back into town, I realized I wasn't just physically exhausted from hiking back, I was emotionally drained. I'd been carrying the weight of someone else's emergency on top of my own disappointment about the trip I never got to have. It hit me just how much a backpacking trip can test not only your body, but also your mind and emotions, and how important it is to reflect on what these experiences teach us. And this is something we don't talk about enough in backpacking, the emotional side of things, the pressure, the responsibility, and the grief that comes along when plans fall apart. I could have easily written this trip off as a failure, but instead I ended up learning a few really important lessons that I think are far more valuable than simply completing the trip the way I had originally planned. Lesson number 1, turning around isn't failure, it's smart decision making. Having to make the call to turn around on day 3 was incredibly hard. I'd spent months planning, training, and preparing for this trip, not to mention all of the emotional weight of wanting redemption from last year. But deep down, I knew continuing going forward wasn't the safe choice. Turning around didn't mean I failed. It meant I was paying attention, taking responsibility, and making the right decision for the situation. The mountains and trails will always be there, but only if we make smart choices to come back safely. Sometimes a successful trip isn't about how far we go, but about knowing when it's time to stop. Lesson number 2, stay calm during emergencies. Your actions matter more than panic. When things start spiraling on trail, whether it's a partner getting sick, unexpected weather, or a medical scare, panic doesn't help anyone. In this situation, I had to stay grounded enough to think clearly, communicate with emergency services, and make smart decisions to help get us out safely. Staying calm doesn't mean you're not scared. It means you're focused on what you can control. When we stay level-headed, we create stability for everyone around us, which can make the difference between chaos and safety. Lesson number 3, emotional preparation is important as physical prep. Before any big trip, most of us focus on the trip planning and physical training, the logistics of getting to and from the trailhead, the permits, the actual hiking and endurance, along with gear and food. But this trip reminded me how crucial it is to prepare mentally and emotionally too. The trail tests more than our legs. It tests our patience, resilience, and ability to adapt when plans fall apart. Building emotional resilience helps us stay grounded through uncertainty, support others when things go wrong, and help keep perspective even when we have to let go of what we wanted our trip to be. It's the difference between walking away defeated and walking away stronger. This trip didn't go the way I had planned. Not even close. But looking back, I realized that the hardest trips often end up teaching us the most. Turning around wasn't a failure. Staying calm through the chaos wasn't easy. And working through all of the emotions that came with all of this, that was its own kind of challenge. I think maybe the biggest lesson I learned out there, though, was redemption doesn't always mean finishing the trail. Sometimes it's about surviving the hard moments with grace, doing the best with what you have, and carrying that strength with you into future adventures. The trail doesn't make us stronger hikers. It makes us stronger humans, and for that, I'm honestly grateful. Have you ever had a trip that didn't go as planned, where you had to turn around or deal with unexpected challenges? If so, how did you handle it? Drop a comment down below and share your story. If there's one thing to take away from this video and from me sharing my story, it's that the trips we think of as failures often end up teaching us the most. If you liked this video and got some value out of it, make sure to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for new videos each week and hit that bell icon to get notified each time new videos are posted. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy trails and keep on trucking.